Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, I'm looking at some serious new drainage kit. We've got some problems with some pump stations at one of our sites and I'm playing golf again, but as always, it's for a charitable cause. Let's roll the footage. Yes, welcome back to another episode of We Are JCD. Let's get you in good light. Let's get me in good lighting, shall I say. Monday, bit of a late start today. My youngest daughter started primary school, big school, as you call it in the UK, with children. So she was off to big school this morning, so I went to make sure she got in okay. Check there were no boys around, eyeing her up already. I'm pleased to say there was none. I have actually just popped over to see another drainage company. The yard is behind me. I've actually come over to be nosy. I've actually come over to have a look at a couple of their gully trucks. They're local to us, tanker company more than standard drainage. And my brother-in-law put me in touch with this guy because he was doing some refurbishment work on his house. So he's done a job for us already and I thought I'd come over and say hello, doing my networking piece. So I'm going to pop around, have a look around at some of his tankers, be nosy, learn a little bit from him, and then I'm heading down to HQ. I've got a meeting with Adam down there, so I'll be going down to do some videoing with him, just some intros, and then I've got an interview at 1 o'clock with someone for our admin role. But more importantly, let's go and have a look at some of this kit. Got to update you guys. I was met with Colin. I've just been for a beard trim. Can you notice from this morning? So I met with Colin, who is the owner of SWD Drainage. Now they actually do a lot of tanker work and they're really local to us. My brother-in-law owns a construction company, has recently done some work for Colin and he introduced us. He's helped us out with a couple of small jobs, but yeah, I thought I'd pop over there, say hello, put a face to the name, and it's always handy to know you know, people within the industry, to be honest. He's got some real nice tankers. He had a show around. I didn't film that because that's not how we do things. Don't take the mick out of people. Just meeting him and going around his yard filming all these tankers and what have you. I was just taking in what the conversation we was having, but a real useful time. And we're going to meet up again. He's a nice guy. So in between that, I've had quickly went for a beard trim, which I've been dying to do for a while, and then I've had a call out for a water leak, so I'm going to go and do that, and then I'm going to meet Adam, but I'm going to have to push him back again for the third time today. But he loves me, so I'm sure he won't be bothered. I'm going to push him back and then we're going to go and do our interview. But let's go and see what is wrong with this leaking tap for now. Is it dripping again?
Yeah, the sewer's dripping.
So we couldn't actually get that one done. The tap was 50 plus years old, super old tap. Hasn't got no individual isolation on any of the copper work, but this job is scheduled actually for a full tap change on the basin on Wednesday. So what I'll do, I'll get the client to add on doing the bath as well. Always frustrating when you can't get it done, but unfortunately there's just nothing I could do apart from replacing the taps because they're that old. So I'm running late, but here's what it is. I'm going to get down and see Adam. Summer, finally here, and we're in September. It's Tuesday. I don't think I really finished off the video yesterday, to be honest. Had a few things going on. Met Adam down at HQ, had an interview for our administrator role. That went pretty well. And then I finished the day, to be honest. Had to pop to a contract in the evening. Just that we've got a lady that's covering someone that's off. Just had to make sure that was going okay. So it's Tuesday now. I've just come down to one of our pump contracts. One of the pumps had failed. Usually when that happens, it's a relatively simple fix. Something's got caught, the pump's tripped out to save the electric motor, just keep trying to push the stuff around. But when it all stops, the stuff generally falls out the bottom, 9 times out of 10. So I've just come down, I've just reset the pump box. That's all running now, so that's good news. Stay down here for a little bit just to make sure it doesn't trip again, because I don't want to go and then have to come back or send someone back. Rest of the day, I'm going down to JCD HQ now, and then I've got to head into London for a client meeting, just to have a catch up on some jobs. So yeah, nice relatively stress-free day, hopefully. So we finished here. Let's jump back in the car, get down to office. It's late evening now. I went down to JCD HQ for a little bit, potted around down there, and then I had a client meeting up in Beckton. But as we've got 3 calls off the way there, the customer called me and cancelled. So I actually popped into a few places over in Lakeside, Dartford way, and then come back. And now I'm just picking my daughter up from gymnastics. I didn't record the rest of the afternoon because I was livid with a particular situation that come in, and I was conscious that I didn't want to go on a rant. And I'm not going to go onto a rant or go into what this is, but I've said it on the channel before. There's all this talk on social media and everywhere else about employers, so me in this scenario, about the way we treat our employees and how we should be fair, give them flexibility. But what happens when you're constantly giving people those perks, flexibility, you know? My team at the moment can come and go as they please, as long as everything is in order. And then when it doesn't go right, or it doesn't go wrong, the audacity that some people have is, honestly, it just infuriates me. I consider myself still relatively young, but I can quite easily see how 20 years of people taking the absolute piss and then acting the victim when it goes against them. I can see how further down the line, because I'm getting there myself, where people just go, look, this is how it is, like it or lump it. And yeah, I get that, or you won't attract the best talent and all this bullshit that everyone comes out with. It's just not true. Just remember, guys, it's a two-way street. I'll treat my guys good, I'll give them the flexibility, but in return, I expect the same back. It's not a one-way street, you know, especially as you're building a young business. I want people that are hungry, that are go-getters, not people that are just going to take the mick out of you. And this isn't just a one-off, this is happening, so this keeps happening. So it must be something to do with me and my management skills, or lack of, in some cases. I think I don't know, people go, you've got to let go. I think maybe I'm just too trusting and, you know, let go too much, maybe. I don't know. It's one that I constantly battle with. But anyway, yeah, employment is a two-way street, guys. Remember that. No matter what people on the internet tell you, no matter what gurus tell you, your employer, boss, whatever you want to call them, they should be flexible and fair with you, and in return you should be the same. And then if you are not towing the line for whatever reason and you're pulled up on that, you can't then act a victim. It just doesn't work. It just makes you look an idiot. It puts me in an awkward situation as well. If you've been having it all smooth for a year plus, and then all of a sudden the shit hits the fan and it's not smooth and you're rough, you can't then pull out a victim card. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. It's a two-way street. I've had enough for one day. I'll see you guys in the morning. Yes, team, we have made it. It's Wednesday. I always get confused about the days. Where am I? I'm over in Beckton at the moment. I've got a client meeting this morning with one of our drainage customers. Today, I am inundated with meetings. Meetings upon more meetings about the meetings that we had yesterday, about the meetings that we're going to have next week. So I've got that today. I'm just over here just to make sure, plan some civils works that's needed on some of the drainage surveys we've done. So what that means is effectively we survey them and then it's passed to a civils team to rectify any issues. So I'm just having a meeting with our client and their chosen contractor for civils, just to run through some of the reports and tell them what's up, what needs doing. So I've got that. So I've got a couple of hours here. Then I've got to head down to JCD HQ. I've got someone to come and have a look at some remodeling I want to have done in the office. Only a couple of little bits, nothing major. And then I have another meeting at 2:30. So it's all go. Cleaning teams are at a project in Ashford. They are still working at the project that we've been doing over a few episodes now. I think it's a typical construction project. It's running behind. So the guys are out doing some window cleaning on that. They've got lots of window cleaning going on this week, to be fair. We've got a new contract starting tomorrow for some window cleaning, so they're out doing that. And Mitchell and Don on the drainage are out doing their normal thing, which is good. They've got a couple of projects close to home, not London based, tomorrow and Friday. So everyone's busy. We've got our new people starting in October, which is good. I'm looking forward to that, getting all of our ducks in a row for that. So yeah, it's all busy. So I'm going to finish my coffee and then I'm going to head over the road for our meeting and see how we get on. So I am back at Guilfoyle HQ. The meeting went well. I had one meeting, then I had someone come and look at some work I want done in the office, just a minor little jig around that I'm planning to have. Client meeting went well today, which is good. all positive stuff there. And then I had a meeting with a former employee today, which was useful, to be honest. Nice to have a chat with him. We parted on good terms, but it's always good to look back. You know, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and if you have the opportunity to sit down and actually go, look, this happened, this could be better, I'm all for that. I'm big on personal development. I'm my own biggest critic of me and of the company. So if you can have the opportunity to sit down and actually go, right, this is what's good, this is what needs some tweaking, then I'm all for that. So I had a good chat with this particular guy, and it was a good use of time. It's about 4 o'clock now. I've just got back home. Tomorrow I am actually I've got a golf networking day, so that's going to take up all day tomorrow, and then Friday I'm out and about. I'm going to do some training with one of our new starters and a few other bits and pieces. We've had confirmation from our new operational lead that they're going to be starting next month, the 1st of October, so that's super exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's been a long time coming. So all in all, a good day at JCD. So yeah, that wraps up today. I'll see you guys in the morning for a round of golf and whatever other shenanigans that brings. See you in a bit. Yes team, Thursday. And today we are doing our bit for charity once again, and we've got a golf day today. One of my customers and personal friend, Mark Deeks from Heating Smart, has invited me on a golf day today. So it's 6:30 a.m. We've got a drive to Swindon, which is a couple of hours drive, and then we're going to be playing some golf for the day. The weather's meant to be really hot, so let's get our golf clubs out and let's see what this golf course is like. We're also playing with one of his managers, John Thrower, and one of his engineers, Stuart, all of which are good guys, know them all. So yeah, it should be a super interesting day. So I'm just waiting for him to pick me up. Hopefully he's not going to be late, and we'll get going.
Jake Bolton has kindly given up his tailor-made tour golf bag, and what he has said is if the winning bidder wants it signed, you'll sign it, right? Is that right? Yeah. So he will sign the bag for you if you want it signed. That is.
Welcome to Friday morning. I didn't do an outro yesterday because it was an ultra long day at golf. The guy who invited me, Mark Deeks from Heating Smart, who I know keeps an eye on the channel. I know you watch Mark secretly. He invited me down. We left nice and early. We left at around 6:30. We didn't get to the golf course till around 10:30. But what Mark didn't tell me is that we wasn't teeing off until 1:30 in the afternoon. Once we teed off, played golf. Mark was one of the chief sponsors, so we had to hang around, do the raffle, do the charity auction, collect some prizes, because we actually won some prizes. And then by the time I got home, it was nearly 12 o'clock at night, so I didn't film an outro, but it was a super fun day. Thank you for Mark and John from Heating Smart for taking us along. Fantastic charity, Lancer Scott, for a young lad called Hayden who needs an operation, so really pleased to be part of that. And as you know on the channel, we always try and do our bit for charity, but it was a super interesting day. To be honest with you, the rest of the day today, I haven't really had much on. I mentioned in last week's video, we've got a little bit of a perfect storm at the moment in terms of our operational structure, which I'm sitting down and making sure that I've got all my ducks in a row for the 2 new members of staff that are going to be coming in part of our office and management team, so they know clearly what they're doing, what's expected of them, and how I want things to run moving forward. And obviously they'll give me their feedback on how we can improve that. But super interesting time. I'm down at the office at the moment. I've got my brother-in-law coming down because I am going to do a small renovation in the office. I'm going to change the floor tiles because it started lifting here. We're going to move the podcast studio to the other end because our next door can be noisy at times and it makes Adam a little bit nervous. So we're going to put the podcast studio down at that end, and I'm going to have a media wall across this wall and get rid of all the cabinets over there, making room for a couple more desks for our new starters, who hopefully will be in the office a little bit more. I've been battling with this work from home piece, to be honest. I know people need to be treated like adults and have flexibility, but 2 or 3 times now I have been severely burnt with the working from home scenario. So I'm going to make sure that role, look, they started making noise, bang on cue. That's why we're moving the podcast studio. That role I'm going to make, it's going to be a hybrid role. It's not going to be fully from home. We sort of introduced working from home slowly, and then before I knew it, it had become a permanent fixture, which I was happy to let roll on as long as everything was done. But I've started to have a couple of issues. So this role now is going to be, our office administrator is going to be a hybrid role. They're going to be here 50% of the week, at home the other 50%. I think that's fair, 50-50. And that way I can interact with them, and our new GM and operations manager, Gary, can also do the same. So yeah, spend the rest of the day down the office, wait for my brother-in-law. That wraps up another episode of We Are JCD. As always, I appreciate you guys checking in. If you haven't checked our podcast out, make sure you go over and check out the Cleaning Up Business podcast on all your platforms, on YouTube especially. And if you subscribe on this channel, make sure you head over and subscribe to that, because then you get to see my face twice on a bi-weekly basis. Thanks for checking in, guys. I will see you guys in next week's episode.